Hey everybody, I'm Doug, that's Connor, and you're listening to your favorite school district podcast, the Bethel School District Presents podcast, and this week we're talking about bond projects and all kinds of great stuff. Joining us will be our Director of Construction, Sarah Kochi, and one of our amazing principals, Lisa Whitmire, who's getting ready to move into a brand new school. But before we do that, Connor, it is, of course, useless trivia time. Why don't you get us started?
Absolutely, Doug, and this segment is emerging as our most popular ever.
The emails are ringing off the hook.
It's amazing. Spending 85% of our working hours
answering emails from fans.
And so to make the fans happy, I'm going to get us going. I'm in Europe with my useless piece of trivia. And did you know this, Doug? In Switzerland, it's actually illegal to own just one guinea pig.
Really?
They are.
That's on the books.
They get lonely, so by law, they must have a friend. And let's say you've got two. Let's say one of them unfortunately passes. What do you do then? You want to be within the law. You want to have a friend for your guinea pig, but maybe you're not quite ready to invest emotionally or financially into a replacement guinea pig. They have thought of that. To address the situation when a pet owner loses one of their precious guinea pigs, there are companies now that offer rental guinea pigs to provide temporary companionship until a new permanent family member can be brought in.
That is outstanding. What a useless piece of trivia.
Thank you.
If I'm ever in Switzerland or Sweden?
Switzerland.
I always get those two mixed up. Switzerland, yeah, only 2 guinea pigs are allowed. That's
you can have more than 2, but they have to go in pairs.
So you can't have 3.
Actually, that's a good question.
We'll have to follow up on that. Well, I'm going to stay in Europe for my piece of useless trivia. And Connor, I'm here to talk about Napoleon.
Dynamite?
Oh, that's the third great Napoleon. There's actually 2 famous Napoleons, 3 if you count Dynamite, but we'll leave him out. But I'm talking about the French Napoleons. So there's Napoleon Bonaparte, which is the one that everybody thinks of, the one that has his hand in his shirt. He's short.
Well, let me stop you there, Doug, and I don't want to steal the thunder from your useless trivia, but I'll have you know that Napoleon wasn't actually that short. That is a bit of a misnomer about him.
Really?
He stood, according to record, about 5'7", which for his time and his region was pretty average, actually.
Interesting. But that's not even my useless trivia. So my useless trivia is that there are 2 famous Napoleons. Napoleon I is Napoleon Bonaparte. He's the one you always think about, the military leader who had Europe quaking in its boots. In 1799 to 1804, he was the first consul of France, and that's way back when France bought the Louisiana Territory from Spain. It's like in 1800. That includes most of Montana, Connor.
No kidding.
I would never kid on useless trivia. And then, of course, they sold it 3 years later to the U.S. of A., and Napoleon served as Emperor of France after that stint as consul for about 15 years. Now, you would think that's where the Napoleon history would stop, but Napoleon III, Napoleon's nephew, was actually elected as the first president of France in 1848. You're going to love this. The new constitution allowed presidents to serve for 4 years, so at the end of his term, he overthrew the government, claimed they were trying to overthrow him, and declared himself Emperor Napoleon III, and launched the opulent Second French Empire, which ran for about 20 years, remaking the city of Paris as we know it.
But how many guinea pigs did he own?
That's a great question. I have it on good authority. He was well within the law.
All right.
Much like Napoleon III remade Paris, here in the Bethel School District, boy, this is a thin transition, Connor. We have a series of bond projects that have been going on since voters approved our school construction bond back in 2019.
Yes, absolutely, and thank you, voters, for that. In 2019, our voters approved a school construction bond to build new schools and renovate and expand old ones. Bond funding, as you know, is kept separate from the rest of the district's budget, including our levies that need to be renewed every 4 years. As the saying goes, bonds are for building and levies are for learning.
Well, so far, the 2019 school construction bond has paid for 6 huge projects. First off was turf fields at Graham-Kapowson and Spanaway Lake High Schools. Then the Challenger High School Phase 2 expansion, which expanded the footprint of that school in a big way. Graham-Kapowson High School also got an expansion. And then we built Catherine G. Johnson Elementary, brand new school, the new Natchez Trail Elementary School, and Expedition Elementary. Thank you, voters.
Absolutely. Thank you, voters. And anyone who's driven 224th recently, you have seen the brand new Bethel High School. The last piece of structural steel is in place and the football field has been turfed. Construction on the new Bethel High School broke ground over a year ago, and it's scheduled to be completed in 2026.
And I talked to Sarah Kochi about this. This school is ginormous.
So at almost 300,000 square feet, you're right, it's massive. Construction is going really well out there. We have a lot of the areas framed and exterior brick going on the building. In fact, we are paving the new student parking lot today. Finishes are going in some of the athletic areas. In fact, got some really good images of the new gym floor, and the gym is really starting to take shape. The building is on schedule and on track to open for students in fall of 2026.
The new Bethel High, the first of the three schools we're talking about today. Cedar Crest Middle School is the second. It was originally planned as a modernization and expansion under our 2019 bond, but careful planning and additional state funding are now allowing us to fully rebuild Cedar Crest Middle School.
Which is good news because Cedar Crest is one of our oldest schools. It was built in 1982, and at just under 88,000 square feet, it's comparable in size actually to a modern elementary school. It absolutely no longer meets our community's needs.
Yeah, now it's going to be a 3-story building with nearly 123,000 square feet with 39 classrooms, capacity for 850 students. That is 150 more than it currently serves. And that new library, Connor, will be on the 3rd floor and will have an amazing view of Mount Rainier.
Yes, it will. And the ball is officially rolling on this project. Building permits have been submitted with the county, and we will be going out to bid in 2026 for construction beginning later that year.
And Sarah told me 2026 is going to be a busy year.
So summer 2026 is going to be a really busy season for our Bethel construction team. At the same time, we'll be working hard to get new Bethel High School open for the school year. We're also going to be moving out all of our Cedar Crest staff and students. Those students will be moving to Old Bethel High School, and then we will be moving in and mobilizing and starting construction of the replacement Cedar Crest Middle School.
Yeah, and using a high school for a middle school, it's a lot bigger of a space. Are you working with Hans Nelson, principal of Cedar Crest, on that?
Yep, we've been working closely with Principal Nelson. I've actually been out to the old high school site several times with him to talk about specific areas of the building that he'd like to use and areas of the building that he's not going to use, and working with our team to try and make sure that if there's certain areas of the building we can close off so that he is able to better utilize that space for his students. That's what we're doing.
And finally, one more important bond project to talk about, and that is the much-needed expansion of Evergreen Elementary. And that project is nearing completion. So Evergreen students and staff spent the past year in the old Natchez Trail building while Evergreen was being remodeled. This bond-funded project's adding 10,000 square feet to the school, which includes 10 additional classrooms and a new commons area. It's scheduled to open this fall.
And joining us in the studio today is our very special guest, Lisa Whitmire, principal of Evergreen Elementary. Now, Lisa, you and your staff have spent the past year at the old Natchez Trail building, which kind of has the same footprint as the old Evergreen did. So when you got to walk into the newly expanded Evergreen Elementary, what was your gut reaction?
Oh, I feel so incredibly fortunate and just thrilled that our new school is really going to reflect like the pride and purpose that our community and our staff and students have in our school. It's really central to the neighborhood and important work happens there. And so now the building is going to reflect that. We have a brand new commons, so we've never had a lunchroom before where students will be able to eat together outside of the classroom. We have 10 new classroom additions.
Wow.
So that eliminates the need for portable classrooms and fully renovated special education suite for our self-contained programs, as well as resurfaced play structures that are much more safe and interactive for students. So we're excited.
I love that.
Yeah, and as Doug mentioned, it's a beautiful building. We've been watching the construction from afar through these amazing drone videos that we produce every month. Doug also mentioned that you and your staff and your students have been over at Camp Evergreen is what we're calling it. What was that experience like being at Natchez Trail, having everyone in this kind of unfamiliar place? Did that do anything for team building, or what was that experience like for you?
You know, it was better than expected. honestly. We as a staff and community kind of embraced the idea that we were glamping. We were going to a campus, had a similar footprint, and we knew we couldn't take everything with us and it wasn't going to feel totally like home, but we would have all the essentials we need to have a successful year. And so we pulled together, and that's exactly what we did. We made the best of it and had a really great year. And by the end, it felt pretty close to home. But now it's just like after camping, you want to go home and sleep in your own bed and get a hot shower and cook in your own kitchen. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Love the metaphor continuing.
That's fantastic. Well, as a principal, I'm sure there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on in getting a new school. This is basically a brand new school. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. The school actually got taken down to the foundation and the studs.
Wow.
So everything from the sheetrock, the flooring, the cabinetry, the furniture, the technology. This year, we're really excited to have the new secure vestibule like all the other schools, which is going to improve safety and security.
And we have those secure entrance vestibules at a number of our schools. They installed one at Graham Kapowsin High School when it got its expansion, and one now at Evergreen. And so when a parent comes in, they still have to show their ID to the camera, they get buzzed in, and then they're in that vestibule where there's still a locked door between them and anybody else in the school. So just another safety precaution that we're taking to keep our staff and students safe.
Yes, we are so thankful for the support of our community and voters. And we want to say a heartfelt thank you for believing in our vision and supporting us through this whole process. We also want to recognize the amazing collaboration of our construction teams, district leadership staff, and the community partners that work so hard to bring this renovation to life. It's on time, and it's been done with a lot of care and strategic planning. So we're just really happy to have a space that reflects our students' potential and their worth, and we couldn't be more proud to welcome them with the beginning of this school year.
Absolutely. And we want to thank you for joining us, Principal Lisa Whitmire, Evergreen Elementary. Have an awesome year. We know you will. It's going to be so fun in that new building. And we will be there day one, like we said, to kind of share that first day with everybody.
Oh, wonderful.
That was Lisa Whitmire, principal of Evergreen Elementary. Best of luck to her and her amazing team of educators as they get the new Evergreen ready for students in just a couple weeks.
Our 2019 bond has produced some amazing projects, and we've got even more coming up. Doug, is it too early to ask about future bonds?
It's never too early to ask. In fact, you are 2 years too late because in 2023, we convened a facility advisory committee to start looking at the needs of the school district. That committee was made up of parents, community members, business owners, school and district staff, and even our school board members. And Director of Construction Sarah Kochi said it was really awesome that there was so much involvement from so many different voices.
Yeah, so it was a really exciting process for us to really start to work with the community and district stakeholders to understand, what they felt were the important needs of the district. What did we need to tackle? Did we need to tackle new fields? Did we need to address overcapacity at some of our current schools? It was really an interesting process to be able to see from the outside what other people are thinking, not just kind of internal what we feel. So I think it was a really successful process, and I think what we've moved forward to the board in terms of a recommendation is a good set and a good pathway for our future.
Our school board is actually studying those committee recommendations, and they're going to have more discussions about a future bond this fall. As always, their job is to balance the needs of the district with their fiscal responsibilities to our local taxpayers.
Thank you to Lisa Whitmire, Principal at Evergreen Elementary, and to Sarah Kochi, our Director of Construction and Planning. We will be back next week where we're talking all things levy.
Yes, we are, and levies are for learning, bonds are for building. An easy way to remember where those particular tax dollars are going. We'll see you next week, everybody.